G'day guys, thanks for dropping by. Ross here from RSC Diesels up in North Queensland. Hey, we're the Scania selling dealer, and today I want to show you real quick this little Scania. It's a P250. It's the smallest truck that Scania make, and it's been purchased by a national company here in Cairns, Rossco Laundry and Linen. Just want to give a big shout out to Rossco. Being a national company, they've decided to buy locally from a family-owned business, and we really appreciate your support. So let's have a look at this Scania. So this P250 is the smallest truck that Scania make. It's the first 7-litre engine being brought into Australia, and it is an amazing piece of equipment. And today we're going to do something a little bit different, where we're going to go driving down south on a test drive to a little farming community and show you some of the great features that this truck can offer. So come on, jump in and let's go for a drive. From 250 horsepower up to 730 horsepower in the Australian market. We haven't seen rain for a while in North Queensland, and today on our test drive and one great feature these Scanias have is hill hold, where I can touch the brake pedal lightly and you hear that little beep, which means all the brakes are now applied and I've just got my foot just touching the brake pedal. If I release my foot off the brake pedal, I've got about 3 seconds before I accelerate, and the brakes will automatically release. So I take my foot off the brake and I can just accelerate very smoothly and easily, and it automatically releases the brakes. One great thing with the Scania product is from number plate to number plate, it is all Scania. So the engine is built and made by Scania, the gearbox is built and made by Scania, the differential is built and made by Scania. So what does that really mean? I guess simplicity, where they all talk to each other and there's no reason for confusion, which is a really great feature when we talk about OptiCruise, which is something that Scania use. It's an automated transmission, still a manual transmission, but is electronically controlled. So it has a clutch, but it's computer controlled. So you can hear there how smooth the gear shifting is, which is very gentle on your equipment. So when you invest in an asset like this, you know that the gear shifting is going to be perfect every time. If you're like me that only drives on test drives like this and you're not driving all the time, it's a great feature. Makes me look like a pro. So as we come out here, once we get up and going, we just set our cruise control, which is controlled here on the steering wheel. I can use my left hand thumb, set my cruise control very simply and easily. I sit back and let the truck do the rest of the work. You can feel and hear how quiet it is in this cab. You can't hear any air noise, no cabin noise. Visibility around the windscreen and the side doors is very good. All my mirrors. What an amazing piece of machinery. So smooth and quiet. We're on cruise control, doing about 80 kilometers an hour, and my tacho is sitting just under 1200 RPM. Such a low revving engine. These new 7-litre engines are absolutely amazing. Just to give you an idea, my instrument cluster here is telling me that I am averaging 4.7 kilometers to the litre. So that's what the truck is averaging at the moment. Absolutely amazing. You know, this engine develops 1100 Newton meters of torque, and that's between the engine RPM of 1050 and 1550 RPM. So very low revving engine, hence why we get great fuel economy. This truck is going to be doing roughly about 800 kilometers a day, and so when you're doing those sorts of kilometers, fuel is a real, I guess, a important part of your operation, you know. They say fuel's made to burn, but man, if you can burn as little as possible, that's more money in your back pocket that ends up showing up in your bottom line. So really great fuel economy in these trucks. So we're just coming into this little town called Aloomba. Very well known for being in the middle of all the cane fields. And you can hear the truck downshifting and upshifting through its gear changing. It's doing it all automatically. You can hear that there. That's through what we call OptiCruise. So the engine talks to the gearbox talks to the engine based on vehicle road speed. So they're constantly in communication with each other, giving us the most smoothest shift pattern that we can possibly achieve. And on top of that, giving us great fuel economy. So we'll just pull over here and I'll show you some of the other great features what this truck has to offer. So I mentioned before about the OptiCruise. If you bring the camera over here, I can show you how it all works. This is our paddle shift here that we use for changing gears. So you can see we're in N for neutral, D for drive, and R for reverse. Now when I select drive, we can see here in the instrument cluster it says 2A, that's second gear automatic. So it's going to automatically pre-select second gear on takeoff. If the load is really heavy, it'll downshift to first gear automatically. Or you can also choose to downshift to first gear by just paddle shifting it here, pushing it down, and it's gone to 1 automatic. Now a great feature this truck has is what we call maneuvering mode. If I hold that paddle shift down, you'll see it's gone to AM. That's called automatic maneuvering, and I'll just show you how that works. It's for when you're in tight situations or reversing up to a dock. It's like a crawler gear. It's not really a crawler gear, it feathers the clutch. So I'll just accelerate real smoothly, and there you can have it. That's how smooth and easy it is in maneuvering mode. Also on this paddle shift we have our exhaust brake. So it's two-stage exhaust brake. Pull it down for first stage, pull it down again for the second stage, and then you can turn it off. We have here this little button. That's off, that's on. That is what we call brake blending. So when it's green and I touch the brake pedal just a little bit, instead of the brakes coming on, it will automatically just bring on the exhaust brake. The harder I push, then it will start applying the actual brakes on the truck. So it's a really great feature that we call brake blending. So we just leave that on all the time. So if you just zoom in over here as well, I can show you we have our driver's score. I'm sitting at about 4 stars at the moment, 82%. So that tells me how good I'm driving. My anticipation, how fast I'm accelerating or braking, and my driving to the conditions that is around. So I'll just show you a little bit around the cab as well. I'll push the seat back. If you have a look here, this truck comes standard with a fridge. Has 3 settings: freezer, fridge and chiller. So very handy for drivers when they're on long distance. They can put their lunch in there and it stays nice and cool. In the back here we've got toolboxes, jacking equipment, safety triangles, storage. So that's behind the driver's seat, and there's another one behind the passenger seat. Because this truck's going to be doing such big kilometres and there's always going to be 2 people in the cabin, I've spec'd this truck with the passenger seat to be an air seat. So not only does the driver get to have a comfortable seat, but our passenger also gets to have a comfortable seat. So yeah. We have here, if you just come over here, we have also diff lock. A little switch here, so if we are off-road, we can flick that to diff lock, and it'll show us on our instrument cluster when the diff lock actually engages. And that's very easily controlled here. We can also turn the traction control off. So why would we want to turn traction control off? So if you're on a gravel road, it's corrugated, and you're going up a hill, every time the wheels break traction, the engine goes, we've got wheel slippage, we need to derate. So by turning it off, you can have your wheel slippage, have the power and keep the momentum up to climb up the top of a hill. So really great feature. As I mentioned before, safest truck in Australia. Standard curtain side airbags. In the event of a rollover, airbags will come down on both sides, driver and passenger door, as well as the airbag that's in front of the steering wheel as well. Our navigation system here, we can put in addresses, you can zoom out, you can zoom in. If you know you're going to a certain destination, you can preset it to what address you want it to go to, and it'll tell you exactly what street you need to turn on, where and when. So it just comes standard with the truck. Let's jump outside now and I'll show you some of the other features that this truck has to offer. Okay, now that we're outside the truck, I just want to give a really big shout out to AJ's in Toowoomba. AJ's build bull bars, and they've done this bull bar for the first P250 truck here we have. Done an amazing job. Have a look at that. Blends in with the truck. Really nice. So well done AJ's. Thanks Michael. Also we've had All Truck Bodies. They've done the body for us in Brisbane. So big shout out to All Truck Bodies. Thanks Tony for working with us. It's been really great. I'll show you some of the inside and the work that they've done. So if you have a look inside there, fitted out really nicely. We've put lights in the ceiling, so if they're working at night they can see what they're doing. Done a great job. Now this truck was a factory order, and one of the main reasons we did a factory order was we've spec'd this truck to have an airbag on the front axle. So very unique. What's good about having an airbag on the front axle? Well, a couple of things. One, we have scales in this truck, so it'll tell us the exact payload at all times. So when you're loading it, you'll know exactly what you're carrying. So that's a great feature. Another great feature is because it's going to be going on mine sites and off the road, where uneven road surfaces and needs a bit of ground clearance, we can actually lift this truck up to get through any tricky situations where we need a bit more ground clearance. So I'll just show you this great feature. What we'll do, we'll start it up. So we can lift the truck in two ways, either on this little remote here, or we can use the buttons in the dash. So I'll just show you on the remote here. So we can control either just the front of the truck by pushing this button, or we can control both of them by having the front of the truck pushed and the rear. If we have a trailer with airbags and we're towing a trailer, we can also control the trailer, lift the trailer up and down. Depending on where we're going, we can have 4 remote settings here, memory settings, sorry. So depending on the size of the dock, you can say, you know, what height you want it set at. So now we'll just lift this truck up. We have a good look at that. So it takes us up about 100 mil. So an extra 100 mil clearance. So look at that, what a great feature. Don't have to worry about getting things torn off underneath the truck. And then we just push the green button and it'll automatically come back down to its ride height. Now say for argument's sake that you had the truck lifted up and you're driving down the highway and you forgot to bring it back down to its normal ride height, it's preset that once it hits 20 kilometers an hour, this truck will automatically come back down to its standard ride height. So it's got a safety feature built in there for it as well. Not only can we lift it up, but we can lower it down. So if we have a look at that, we can bring the truck right down as well. Again, we hit the green button, automatically goes straight back up to its natural ride height. Okay, so we'll keep going. Always remember when entering the cabin of these trucks, 3-point contact at all times. So we've got 2 nice grab handles here, 1 foot on the step, we can work our way up. Once we're in here, we can get into a very comfortable position. We can move the steering wheel, we unlock it, adjust it to where we want it. We can move it up, move it down, set it, lock it, bring the seat forward, set our armrests in the right position. We can adjust the armrest just underneath here where these little roll buttons are. And then we can be very comfortable. Put our seatbelt on. Head off. Jump on in, let's go for another drive. So we're cruising down the highway now, doing 100 kilometers an hour. And something I really wanted to point out was this engine does just under 1500 RPM at 100 kilometers an hour. So we've got a small engine producing such great torque, giving us an amazing fuel economy. I mentioned before, we're averaging about 4.7 kilometers to the litre. So pretty amazing. This is a P250. The 250 stands for 250 horsepower, and that's developed at 1900 RPM. So Scania build a range of trucks from 250 horsepower up to 730 horsepower in the Australian market. So thanks for coming along with us on this ride today. Really appreciate your time. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, please pick up the phone, give us a call. We'd be happy to help with any questions you may have and try and provide a solution for your business to give you the right product for the application. If I can help in any way, I'd love to be able to do that.